A quick hello to a friend from a past episode at an urban farm with allotments, and getting a foundation on the basics of vermi-composting do's and don'ts. All that coming up right now on the Clumsy Gardener. Hey Michelle.
Oh, hi Josh.
Hi. That's Michelle Hong, one of the co-founders of social enterprise Rooftop Republic in Hong Kong. We met her last year in episode 16 at one of their 60-plus rooftop farms. This spot is at co-working space The Desk in Sheung Wan, where they've collaborated to launch an initiative that's open to the public.
This program, we call it the Community Urban Farming Program, is a 3 to 4 month long program, and once you sign on, you get your own planters, you get a weekly workshop with our instructor, and you get everything, all the supplies all provided for you. So all you have to do is just show up.
But today's main focus is composting, specifically worm composting using a specific type of earthworm that produces wonderfully rich waste on tap, as what's called compost tea that can go right into your garden beds. To learn more, let's go over to their in-house composting specialist, Angelica.
So we harness the power of our worm friends to break down our food scraps and garden waste to create worm castings, which is their poop, but it's filled with nutrients that are really good for the soil and also helps to retain water retention in the soil as well. There are holes around the top and around the sides. That's for air ventilation, so that the worms get air all throughout, and there's also holes underneath the vermi-composting bin as well. There are different levels or stacks, trays of the vermi-composting bin. This is so that we can fill up different levels and then continue to add more, so the worms have multiple layers to go through. So you want to make sure that you fill up one bin completely before you start adding to the next. So the best thing to do is you start from the bottom, and then once the bottom tray is filled, then you move on to the next tray. I would say maybe 5 trays is enough. You don't want to go overboard.
So first key thing, with the food and garden waste, it's important to lay in worm bedding that's rich in carbon. Things like shredded cardboard, unbleached paper, newspaper, torn up egg cartons or coconut coir, which help retain the moisture. Be sure to shred.
You want to make it like loose, you want to make it so it's not compacted, and then you would just layer it down in the first tray, and then you'll add the food scraps, your food waste, into the bedding.
You can then mix in the food and garden waste, then put the worms in. For their setup here, each layer will have about 50 to 100 worms.
Maybe like 100 worms can eat about 0.5 kg of food waste a week, I think. So if you add too much food waste, it can create rotting or mold growth, and so you don't want that.
To prevent attracting unwanted pests, creating unwanted smells, or having an acidic environment that'll hurt the worms, there are some things you should not put in the compost. Avoid meat and bones, canned or processed food waste, plastic pieces including stickers on fruit skins, as well as diseased or chemically treated garden waste.
Another thing that can add acidity to your composter is if you add citrus. So that would be one of the things that I suggest you don't compost with your worms, is any citrus peels or even garlic onion skins. Vermi-composting relies on red wiggler worms, which are manure worms. It's very difficult to find those in Hong Kong. You actually have to order them online and bring them in. And they do ship live, and they come all like no deaths.
Really?
Yeah. They're quite good with shipping worms internationally, which I'm shocked by.
To help battle the Hong Kong heat, Angelica puts predominantly pruned plant matter in the top stack. This discourages worms from wiggling all the way up to the hottest layer, but also provides some additional insulation from the heat, which can be fatal. And of course, we want to take a look at the worms in action. But unfortunately, last night, there was a bit of an incident.
And then I don't want to disturb them too much, but I'll grab a worm. Ah! They're very upset with me right now.
Why is that?
It's because their home got a little bit wet last night, and so we had to drain it out and just give them some time to dry off. We'll let them rest after this, and then we will give them some more food so that they can perk right back up. And then tray underneath, the bottom tray, worm casting catchment area, it just has the spigot, so once you have enough water in here, you can let the spigot go and let the water drain out. Or the worm casting tea, which this is where it would be held.
Although you don't want to drown the worms, you do want each layer to be moist, so give any stack that's looking on the dry side a sprinkle of water. And be sure to keep checking in on your compost bin.
So there you go, everyone. That's our episode. Big thank you to Angelica over here for showing us how they do their vermi-composting here at Rooftop Republic. Thank you all for watching. Take care, everyone. Happy growing. See you next time.